Hey, 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 I got something to say, people. Oh my God. First of all, thank you for all your support. And I just want to do a side shout out because for Prop Up Tuesday, you people are sending me so many people to prop up that are amazing humans. And I'm very grateful for it. And speaking of amazing humans, I happen to have met this person in person, which I'm so excited about. Debbie Garcia is in the house. Debbie, how are you?
Doing great over here.
So, before we even into anything, there's just been a few things going on for Debbie. I was like, so what's, exciting? And boom, you hit me. So, let's start off with you've got a lot of great things going on in Nashville.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I won the Next Award, which is given by the Nashville Entrepreneurial Center. There's about 700 people in attendance. It is very, very fancy gala at the Skirmahorn. I had to buy a new dress. I had been nominated for 4 years, and this year I was a finalist, and I won for Hospitality and Retail Startup of the Year.
Okay, hold on. That deserves my dance, man. Come on. That's freaking awesome. All right, keep going. Tell us the rest.
So by the end of this week, I will have another award, and that is for the Titan CEO 100. So I was named one of the top CEOs in Nashville, Tennessee. We're having a big gala this week as well. So
Which is
there's that.
huge.
And that
Huge.
is pretty big. Like I was like, do I even belong in this? But of
Yeah.
course I belong. I was nominated and you fill out all the paperwork and they choose. So if I didn't qualify, then I wouldn't be there. And then the
Absolutely.
last one, the icing on the cake is our Meeting Professionals International Gala is also next week. And I am up for Meeting Planner of the Year. So
I don't even have another happy dance for that one.
yeah, so it's been really, really good. The recognition, it's still the hard work that goes into it, but people are seeing, the hard work that's going into what we're doing here.
Isn't that nice? So nice.
It is.
All right. So I freaking can't wait for you to tell them your ritual in the morning because it so needs to be heard. So many people think high energy, high powered people, they're just go, go, go. So, Debbie, do you have a ritual that you do every morning to get in that positive, powerful mindset?
I do. Mine is I spend 20 minutes in a quiet reflection. No screens, no noise. It's just gratitude. And I remind myself that peace is a strategy and not a luxury. I came from a very anxious mindset all the time in my brain. It used to be go, go, go until a few years ago, I found meditation and I make it a priority. I do 20 minutes of meditation every single morning. If I kind of miss in the morning because something's going on, I do it at night. I make sure that I get my meditation in every single day.
Okay, so I normally don't do this, but we have to jump into it because my peeps, who they know I'm all about movement, words, and laughter and meditation, when they saw that, they want to know, I'll combine them. Let's go, Sally Bells. Dear Debbie, I hear you. I mean, I hear you loud and clear. I tried it for a minute, 3 minutes, nothing worked. Now I see you're doing 20 minutes in the morning. Is there a secret? Is there a specific one you do? And if so, please share. I like Sally Bell.
Sally, so yes, I kind of started in a program 2 years ago because I was the same way. I was like, meditation doesn't work. But when I learned what meditation is, it's not about reducing like the distractions. It's about understanding that there's something distracting you and saying, okay, go away for now. It's actually not about reducing it. Like it's such a weird thing. People think, oh, I have to be perfect, I have to close my eyes. No, your brain is going to still be your brain. You're still going to be distracted by thoughts, and you're supposed to like take those thoughts and just like say, go away for now. Like they're a cloud, like push them away. And that's the practice of it. Yes. Do you start with 20 minutes a day and it's no, 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 no. If you can get 5 minutes in, my whole thing was about breath work, understanding how to use my breath. Like I said, I was a very anxious person. I'm a New Yorker. I live in Nashville now. I was high strung. And when I really learned that if I, instead of uh, like responding to people in a way, I would feel like I was biting their heads off. But if I really thought about it and would breathe and take a moment, my mind would change on how I would react to people. So instead of a reaction, it's a response. So what I really started with was a program where I worked with high achievers, and it was a monthly fee that I had to pay, which I literally just stopped 2 weeks ago, which I had to find a new meditation, which is not as structured, but it's called Inner Matrix System, and it really is supposed to reset your nervous system. It is, you have to buy in for the year, but it is a well crafted series of, like, each week you're focusing on something for 12 weeks. So the first 12 weeks is emotion. So it's a series of classes and meditations on emotion. And then it's on vision and focus and intention. And you go through the whole year that way. And then you restart and you pick a new emotion, you pick a new vision for yourself. And I decided that, okay, I think I'm good for now. And I'm trying something new. And I'm using the app called Insight,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and
Don't
the
know that.
Insight Timer. Yeah, and that's free. So if you really just want to try it out and like work your way up from 5 minutes, try different meditations, but just something to keep yourself grounded, to be like, be grateful. Like, instead of saying I have to go to work today, is I get to go to work today. I mean, just changing things like that, and understanding that we don't have to be on such high energy and high fuel all the time. Just taking the time to reflect is definitely really important for our hearts, our minds, our souls.
Okay, this is going to be very coincidental. Who is the founder of the Inner Matrix system?
It's Joey Klein.
I So years ago, I did that. I went through that program and it was extremely helpful. I even went out to Colorado to be with the peeps, and it was really great. But I was like, wait a minute, this sounds too familiar. And it breaks it down. And it really did help me. But I want you to hear what Debbie's saying. You don't have to do that. I mean, that is an all-in expensive program. And not that it doesn't work, but there are other ways to get into it. And the Insight Timer is one way. And there's plenty of meditations out there that you
Yeah.
can get into for free. So, okay, I love the way I'm still paying. But it was good. It was great. It was awesome. And the thing is, and I'm so glad you mentioned how they broke it up. There's so many different meditations out there. You shouldn't feel like, okay, I can't have any thoughts. And when you start saying, okay, send the thoughts up into a cloud, I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds familiar. But there's so many other meditations out there. There's movement meditations.
Oh, absolutely.
And find one that works for you. That's the most important, that you're going to stick with it.
It's going to be a lot of trial and error. For me, I bought into a program, so I had accountability.
Yes.
And the thing was, right now, is I could be accountable to myself. I don't need that program. I've learned a lot. I understand it. I have all my workbooks. I don't have
Yeah.
the meditations anymore, but I will find what works for me. But yeah, there's plenty out there.
Yeah, plenty out there. All right, Debbie, this is just a wee bit about Debbie Garcia. Is the founder and CEO of, I think I got it right. Wait, hold on, because I did want Versator. Okay. Debbie Garcia is the founder and CEO of Versator, a sourcing and strategy platform reimagining how the event industry connects and books business. A multi-award-winning entrepreneur and industry innovator, she blends technology, strategy, and heart to create smarter, more human ways to plan and grow. Her mission is to help founders and event professionals reclaim their time, their value, and their vision through purposeful innovations, which leads me right away when I said, hey, Deb, what's the one thing you want to tell women around the world and men that support us? She said, confidence is built through action, not perfection. Well, you opened a can of worms, because that seems to be so many people. They don't want to be perfectionist, but they are. And they find themselves over and over again not taking the action, because let me just do this. Let me do this. This one lady says, we'll call her Betty Boop, I feel like I workshop my stuff till death. And then sometimes I don't even do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the progress over perfection, but the confidence, you have to believe in it. You have to have clarity. There's all these things you have to do, but the one thing that has to be done is action. You can think about things all day, but unless you get off your butt and do it, it doesn't mean a thing. And you are never going to be perfect. I have a platform I've been working on for 5 years. I've had multiple ideations of it, but at the end of the day, I can go out and sell this thing and people will love the idea of it. And it might not be perfect yet, but I'm getting feedback. I'm getting people telling me, it's missing. But you know what? I wouldn't have known to even go out there if I was trying to make it perfect because it's not going to be perfect for everybody. And that's the one thing is that what scope are you looking at for this eye of perfection? But at the end of the day, you're not going to have any confidence in anything until you go out, try it, and do something.
So, one thing that I do is, let's say I'm creating a new workshop and I don't think it's ready to go all out. I will say to someone, hey, I'm workshopping this. I'll charge you half price. Or, hey, can I do this? I'll do it pro bono for a nonprofit. And it puts a deadline on me so
Mhm.
that I don't keep workshopping my workshops. And then I get out there and I do it. And then once I do take the action on it, I feel so much better.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary to be like, I have this amazing idea. Am I going to be able to do it? Like, that's what an entrepreneur is. It's like, yeah, it's easy for me to, it may not be easy right now to get a job, but at the end of the day, I can go apply for things, get a job, get paid, come home and be happy, right? But man, taking that step to be like, I have an idea and I'm going to do it, that that's the hard part. And I think a lot of people want to have that freedom and build their lives and be confident in it, but it's never going to get there unless you just take that first step.
So they do want some strategy on that.
Mm.
What are some steps that they can do? Like you say, okay, take the first step, but how can the inner critic, it keeps stopping them. So what is one thing they could do every day to take action and not listen to that inner critic? It's just from a dude, but I let him in.
Yeah. Learn. I am a lifetime learner. When I did not know what I was doing, I would ask people questions. I would go take classes that I can find for free. If you're interested in how do I become an entrepreneur, there's entrepreneur centers across the world that you can walk into. They have classes, they have lunch and learns, your SBC, SBA, all of these things meant for people who want to be entrepreneurs are out there with free classes online. Sometimes you're just going to have to take a class on a Saturday morning. If you really want something so bad, it's taking the action. So you may not be starting your business like, I'm going to start my business today, but you can take little steps to learn, read books. I literally have, because I had to move from my office here, I have my laptop on top of a bunch of books, but I've got Building a Brand, a Story Brand 2.0. I've got Crossing the Chasm here. I've got The Red Propeller. I read and I read a book. And when I'm done with the book, I read another one. I read Profit First. I read everything. I'm getting my MBA right now because I wanted to know what I don't know on how to run a business. So if I'm going to run a business at the scale I want to run a business, I better know what I'm doing or not or not know so I can go hire that person. But as you have to just continue to learn and read and understand and ask questions.
So that's one of your tips. Ask
Yeah.
better questions. So I want you to break that down because it says clarity creates confidence. Before saying yes to anything, ask the right questions and watch how the answers shape better decisions. What do you mean by that? The right question.
So this is really funny because this has been over so long and not just applies to what I do for a living or becoming an entrepreneur, but I came through this by being an event planner because a lot of times it's I want to have an event for 200 people in one of the top 5 cities. Okay, what are their demographics? How are people getting there? Do you like people are just not asking the right questions or asking questions at all? Oh, I want the job. I can do
I
it.
got you.
And then what happens is you get into the request for proposal and you have, oh, how many rooms do we need? When will they get there? When are we starting this? It's like nobody does anything up front. They just want to get the job. And what happens is if you do not ask better questions and questions up front, you're going to be doing a heck of a lot more work later. not just on the events industry, but on yourself. So if you're understanding that you want to start your own business and you're going to ask better questions, dig deep. Like ask the questions that you don't think you should ask to, someone who may be a very successful entrepreneur. Don't be afraid to go call up a CEO of a company that you admire and say, "Hey, can I ask you a few questions?" But, I always, when I take on new clients, a lot of times I'm very picky now because we are doing fractional work. We've got the platform. But when I take on new clients, like, why do you need to know that? I was like, because I don't know if I want to work with you unless I know these answers. Like, how does your team work together? How will we communicate? I mean, communication, even though we have all these options for communications, it is broken down so terribly in this world.
So true. And I think a lot of people would just say yes because they want the gig, they want the money, and then it could be a disaster.
It could be a toxic environment. It could be values that are not lined up. You could be going home every night or getting stressed out and it's affecting your family life and your body. Like you don't know sometimes how stress affects you
Yeah.
until you are in it. And like if you've signed a contract with somebody, it's like, man, I better know what I'm getting into before I say yes. And you might be annoying with asking questions, but at least at the end of the day, you're going to get the right answer with your intuition telling you, maybe that's not right. Or yes, this is exactly what I want. I struggle with this every day because I want to do it all. I want to help everyone. I want to get my name out there. How can I do more? And I have to have like my sounding board of my husband a lot to
Mm,
be like, is this what you need right now? Like he'll ask me the questions that I should be asking internally. And a lot of the times it's just more noise.
yeah. Yay, husband. That's great.
Yes. Although sometimes like I really wanted to do that. Why did you say I shouldn't?
We all need at least one person like that in our
Yeah.
lives.
Mhm.
Okay. So I want to skip to this one because I want to make sure we get it in. Treat because I know I don't do this, treat every experience as marketing.
Yeah.
Every conversation, every event, that's difficult for me. I'm not even thinking about it.
Yeah. And I think that's okay. I don't think that, I mean, when you're a speaker, you're selling yourself. So at the end of the day, it's always marketing for you because you're going to be who you are. They get Sandy, at the end of the day, that's who they
Ah,
get. So you are your brand, you are your face, you are what you wear, you're how you do your hair, whatever. You are that person.
Wait, I'm
For
feeling better. I'm feeling better now.
I struggle with this because I want to be in a hoodie and like I went to an event last night with it was women in wealth and I'm like, what do I wear? And I did put something nice on and we talked about, how we all like learned about money and all that sort of stuff. But of course, I'm marketing. I run a company, blah, blah, blah. This is what we do. Anyone at that table who was running a business and needed an event planner, I just sold myself with just sneaking it in there. I wasn't like doing a commercial, but I was very intentional about what I do in order to gain more business or gain,
Uh,
maybe someone who had something similar to me. So it doesn't even have to be, about selling yourself for your business, but maybe you want to make a new friend, finding out that someone loves the same thing you do. Like when I find people who are into theater, like I'm like, oh my God, we're best friends. Like, let's go sing, the Wicked soundtrack together. Like, let's go do this because it's still marketing. You're still selling yourself for a purpose. You know what I mean?
And I love the way you said it's not my 30-second commercial, but I'm being intentional. Like,
Right.
and you're right. When I go to a meeting or network thing, I do think about why am I going there? Is it just to hang out and support my friends, or is it about business? So
It just happened to me at my daughter's dance thing. They had a bonfire. So all the academy girls, she's now doing street crew, which is like the hip hop, whatever competition. So we were just like invited into this big new family. I ended up with 3 jobs by just like, and I found out one of the women loves theater. you know? So it was really, really funny that you can actually walk into a very social place and people like, oh, what are you, blah, blah, blah. And like you can get jobs out of it. So
So I want to go back to one of your other points, because when you're talking about asking the right questions so you can decide whether or not you're a match, it makes me think of not saying yes to everything and making sure that it does fit who you are and your value system. And by doing that, then you're allowing space for, like what just occurred at your daughter's, which I would freaking love that, hip hop, break street, whatever it is, dance.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've allowed space for that. That
Mhm.
does light you up and brings you
Yeah.
purpose. And you wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to do that if you said yes to all the other things just because it's a gig.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have to make sure that it aligns with your time, your freedom, whatever your values are. Like I have them on my computer screen, which is now in the other room, but like mine are like freedom, empowerment, passion. Like I live by those words every day. I have literally post-its all over that say, I'm the boss. How are you making money today? Like I give myself affirmations, empowerment, little sticky notes to tell
I'm
me
sure
to
you
just
do.
yeah, I do. I actually have my do you ever oh, I forgot what they're called, but they're like cards that you're supposed to do a test and find out what your highest uh your personality traits. It's like 34 of them and my first one is achiever, but of course but there's responsibility and there's all these other
Yeah.
ones that I keep the cards in front of me too. So when I'm feeling like, oh, little questions about myself, it's like, who are you? And I look down and I see that's who I am.
Yeah. And we
But
all need
yes,
reminders. I don't care how
we
pippy
do.
positive you are. We all need
And
reminders.
the last few weeks for me have been terrible. You can talk to my female entrepreneur group. I walked in there like, Debbie, you're depressed. I was like, I'm just having a hard time. Like my husband had surgery and we have two 16-year-olds living with us that are Nashville Soccer Club Academy players that we decided to take on. I know I'm a little crazy, getting my MBA. Like it was just piling on. And I was like, and then just certain things with the platform were not working as well. I'm constantly testing. And I was like, why am I doing this? And you just say to yourself sometimes, like, you pull yourself up. Look, you're up for an award, and I got,
Yeah.
or you got this thing to do, or you can go watch your kids do something, or you look forward to going to the game, or whatever that is, or even just having to buy yourself something small to get yourself out of it. You have to take care of yourself. And I realized in that time period, I was down on myself because I wasn't taking care of myself, was taking care of everyone else. I didn't leave enough space for me at that time. I'm getting back to that, like meditations dropped off. My walking every day dropped off. Everything in that time period just kept going away. And like, why am I digging myself deeper? And it was because I gave up the things that I was doing to take care of me as everyone else needed me as well. And you just got to be like, nope, I'm going to go take my 20 minutes and meditate, whether that is you're sitting there with your eyes open and staring at the phone timer going, but at least take that 20 minutes for yourself and just, you know, get rid of it.
I think that's important for everyone to hear. I want to pause here a second, because even with all your practices, you can still get caught up in doing too much for others and putting yourself, even with all these reps. I do the same thing, but I think I catch it quicker as years go on. I go, wait a
Yeah.
minute. I don't let it go so long because I'm feeling
Mhm.
way off. What do you mean I'm not getting my workouts in? What do you mean I'm not? So I want to talk about this because we spoke about it a little bit in Nashville, but when you say schedule vision time, once a week, block an hour, dream bigger without fixing or editing ideas. Let's just back up a second, because
Mhm.
you do take on a lot and you have kids and now you got more kids and you're getting young. They really want to know, are you able to do that and not get sleep? Do you sleep? Are you that scheduled? How do you get that all in a day? I know you get asked this a lot, and keep your
I
energy.
do.
You're
I've been
the queen of
asked,
it. I mean, you really, I
I
remember.
try, my thing is, I think that comes from an anxious childhood. I think that comes from trying to impress people. I think it comes from wanting validation. I think that right now I'm realizing a lot of what how I grew up and where I am now. has really shaped a lot of that.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, what I realized is if I don't put it on my calendar, it doesn't happen. I literally have dinner on my calendar as a scheduled thing because there was times that I forgot to actually feed my family dinner because it wasn't on my calendar. Like no joke, I have meditation time on my calendar. I have my CEO hour every morning that I take and I work on the big picture stuff. On Fridays, I take zero meetings. I do not, I work on my schoolwork. And then I have time for podcasts and reading. And then I have my vision time on Friday too, where I think the biggest pictures that I can think of, I write it down. This goes into my book of work, my scope of work. So when I have a strategist ask me, what other ideas can we have to maybe if we're having trouble bringing people onto the platform? What else? I'm like, I've got 20. Like that is where my big picture, the things that you're like, these are crazy, but you write them down and say, not only these are the things I can do, but also what does your future look like? In 10 years, what does that look like? This picture right here is my vision. I want to be able to wake up in the morning and that's what I'm going to walk out to. This is in my like living like my dining room kitchen, but this has been on my wall. I actually saw it in person, have a picture of it. But I said, I am going to walk out of my amazing, gigantic house, and this is going to have this very, very long, walkway over the ocean where I can meditate and do yoga and have maybe my yacht sitting there. But those are the things I envision because if I don't envision them, how do I know what I'm working towards?
And for those of you who are not watching, tell them what I'm looking at behind you.
Yeah, so it is it's over the ocean and it's like a walkway, a boardwalk, and then it has a like a big kind of hut, but it's a very, very, very long boardwalk. And it's like a thatched roof, but I mean, I've seen this in the Caribbean. I'm pretty sure I've seen it a few places. Um, but this is where your boat can dock, but it really is just a very peaceful place where I saw this picture, I saw it in real life and said that's where when I meditate on my own, that's where I go to. When I do my breath work, that's what I envision where I'm going to be sitting. You have to know that you could be sitting in a pool, you could be sitting in your own bed, you could be sitting wherever that is, but you need to find that place you're envisioning in order for you to see where you're going.
So one of the big things that I heard about how your schedule is, I want to make sure I got this right, Debbie, is you're not all over the place like, okay, I'm doing vision here, I got clients here, it's you have blocks like on Friday, that's why it works.
Yeah. And if on a Friday my kid has a thing to do at school, I'm able to be like, you know what, that's important today. I don't schedule meetings on Mondays and Fridays. My Mondays, I work a lot on my marketing. I have blocks of time for that. My Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I have separate blocks for taking calls. I've got my operation and sales times, my blocks there. And I also, I've got on my calendar my daughter's dance rehearsals, my son's soccer, when I have to take the other boys to the airport, or if we're going to go see one of their games, or, like everything is on the calendar. And when I do find a free space, usually if there's free space, it's usually doing dishes and cleaning the house and stuff. You kind of fit that stuff. I don't schedule that stuff. That's, just there.
Yeah.
But, my normal calendar is filled with blocks that are
Mhm.
movable. Like if I want to go to a
I get it.
luncheon, yeah, if I have to go to a luncheon and it's something I really want to do, but if I have another appointment that day that's important, that comes precedence because I honor people's time. I honor that if something, and I get canceled on all the time. I think that we had to cancel once before for something. I think I had a sick kid or something, but you
Yeah,
do
just one
honor
of those,
people's,
yeah.
yeah, it happens. And I totally get it. But like there's people who will perpetually cancel on you and then you don't trust them anymore.
Yeah,
Um, I think that has a lot to do with, if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it.
yeah. So I just want to make sure everyone's hearing how we're going to get into system works for you is you plan your week, your month
Mhm.
that works for you. It may not work for somebody else. You have a lot going on. It doesn't mean you have to have a lot going on. But if something comes up you really want to do, like I want to go to that network event I didn't know about, you will shift things around, but you're
Yeah,
intentional about it. Somebody's not just taking your time from you, which I feel like sometimes happens. Well, we get pulled in too many different directions of people
right.
helping us, and then we have to rein it in. So I want to make sure we get this in. Systemize what you can so you can humanize what matters. Automation isn't cold. It gives you space to connect.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people out there, I'm sorry, I can't get to all the questions about that, but they're struggling with this. So tell us.
Yeah. So this is exactly what Versator was built on. It was about creating a system so event professionals can source events easily without hopping on planes, understand the process, being able to be intentional about where they are looking for an event, knowing, and using a system that works. It really was built on saving people time, money, and travel. But
Gotcha.
when I systemized my life, that came down to using even asking ChatGPT based on here, can you create me a schedule, blah, blah, and then you can get that and import it right in. So your schedule is done. Using AI for things. I have AI assistant right now. I have an AI salesperson. They do a lot of my automation where I'm not sitting there and looking on LinkedIn for new people and then putting that into my CRM. And they're like, no, I'm using automation to do that for me because if I take things that are menial tasks that can be done by something else that's called automation. I
Gotcha.
schedule out emails. I will have the first email. If they don't get back to me, the next one scheduled in 4 days. They don't get back to me, then we do a LinkedIn reach out, all automated. These are the ways you're able to take tasks that take up a lot of time that you don't need to be doing personally in order for you to go to that networking event, in order to get more leads, in order to put into
Got it.
the system. And that is where that comes from, is automating tasks that do not need to be done by you and save time for the things that you want to be there for.
Hmm. I think a lot of us are catching up with that. We get it, but it is a little bit of a learning curve. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people out there go, I know I should be utilizing it more. But for a lot of the people that are listening or watching, they came into it later in life. So it's a whole new world to them. I have
Yeah.
a woman, she says, I'm 70. I just sit there some days and I just feel like I'm spinning plates trying to figure it out. And maybe she needs somebody to help her with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and there's courses out there too. I mean, that's the thing, is there's always a way. I was speaking to my dad today, and he said he's 80, and he was talking about how lonely he is, and he doesn't leave the house. I'm like, Dad, it's because you're not trying. There are
Mhm.
things out there. There's the 50 Forward Center. It's right down the street. You can go there. Oh, I went once. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, you went 20 years ago. Like, go stop complaining and do something about it. It's the same thing as we have the tools in front of us to do it. We have the information. We have too much information.
Yeah.
It's finding the information that works for you. I have tried countless list apps that do not work, but at least I tried something, and I'm seeing, how it gets on. I'm trying something new right now. I don't like the marketing AI guy. I think I'm better. So I'm like, hey, Sonny, I'm going to just do this myself until you learn better. Like, I actually had a conversation with an AI bot about how I think I do it better. But, I may need to let that control go soon in order to keep up, but I have a system for that. I was able to systemize bulk import into Canva. So I'm able to do months at a time, that I'm not sitting there trying to be like, what do I post? I am 3 months. I have posts scheduled through March on my social media, through March.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
crazy. Am I crazy?
No, I think it's awesome. It's awesome. I'll just schedule them out. Okay.
Schedule.
All right. I love you. But just so the listeners out there, I want to really home into, if they wanted to have an event, who's your ideal client?
Mm. My sweet spot for events is usually like a mid-sized company that has a marketing department, but they don't have an event planner. I
Okay.
like to come in and work with those teams. It's usually about a 400-person event where they're doing a few conferences a year, maybe one big annual, some regional stuff. a trade show element to it, but we're getting, the hotel rooms, we're doing full programs, guest activities, kind of a lot of moving parts, but a lot of fun at the same time with education where we bring in keynote speaker, but being able to take control of the entire event and work with marketing on how to push the message, taking their messaging and taking it into what the event is, and really working closely with them in order to bring the highlights of the company to the event, because the last thing you want to do is have a themed event that people are like, this makes no sense. Like, you have to make sure you're taking the company culture and you're taking things in and understanding the company instead of just, slapping on a theme or,
Yeah.
like that for me is the fun part, is working with other people on creating this amazing event. But at the same time, I do want to be respected as a professional. I do think a lot of event professionals out there are not. I get all the time, oh, you do events? I did my son's birthday party. I'm like, I work on multi-million-dollar meetings with thousands of people and like, it's not the same. And I think that because people think that they can have a dinner party is the same thing as what event professionals are doing around the world with large scale events, it demeans one of the top 5 most stressful jobs in the world. I don't know if most people know that, but being an event planner is one of the top 5 most
Yeah.
stressful jobs in the world.
Yeah.
So it's understanding that balance of being like, I had a president of a company just completely disrespect me, and I'm like, excuse me, I will not be spoken to you. You will not speak to me like this. We will go off. We will have a conversation on what happened, and I will make sure that we get it right. But like in front of everyone, there's an email he sent. He forgot to wait till it said send, closed his laptop, and flew out to the destination. So nobody knew what was going on. And he's getting mad at everybody and yelled at me. And he realized later that nobody got his email and he had to apologize. But that understanding of
Yeah.
you don't speak to people like that, and I will not tolerate. I will walk out this door and get back on the plane to go home before I'm spoken to that way. And I think a lot of event professionals, because 90% are women,
Oh,
we
okay.
don't.
I
It's
didn't
a
know that.
huge number. Yeah. I mean,
Huh.
especially in the event planners, it is absolutely ridiculous how, because it started out as the receptionist would plan the event and they would get the lunches. And if you think about the evolution of the events industry and what it is kind of come into, we're the caretakers. We're the ones that can hold up all the balls in the air. We're the ones that fix all the problems. So of course, women would be amazing at event planning,
Amazing. Amazing.
amazing. But at the end of the day, we are still human beings. We are professionals. I'm a certified meeting professional. It's like being a doctor of events, and I better get the respect for it. So picking out those clients and finding who you mesh well with
Yeah.
is sometimes that's a hard part, because sometimes you get in the first meeting, you're like, nope, nope, nope. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 years to realize, oh my gosh, this has been a very toxic relationship. Or you have met the perfect one where you mesh so well that it's fun every day and you're putting on these events that people talk about year after year and they want to come back to, and you see it grow and you see that your imprint is on it, and that's the most satisfying part of it.
Yeah. I was with the group event planners in Nashville, and
Yeah, we were there together.
hearing all their stories. I mean, I knew, but I'm not on that end of it. And you don't think of all the pieces and all the things that could go. I mean, there's just so many moving parts. It's
Yeah,
like mind blowing. And I'm
yeah.
so happy to see that you have each other and you support each other.
We're getting better at doing it, because a lot of the times we're separated. We always are get to like, you go talk to the suppliers, the people want to sell to you, and the planners don't talk to each other. And we're doing a better job of talking to each other. And
Mm.
that's like another integration we're going to have in Versator, because those are the holes that I'm seeing in the industry, is we're a community, but we don't talk. You can't be a community and get things done if you're not actually talking to each other or given the platform to. So it's like, all right, why don't we do this right? So I'm that person that sees all the holes and tries to fix them.
Yeah. Well, this year, it's even more so, but I come from and always have in business. And sometimes people slammed me for it, but I feel like it's benefited me. I have an abundant mindset, and I
Mhm.
really feel like there's room for everyone. And the ones that I really believe in, even other speakers, I'll freaking put them in the stage. Like, I know, hey, I'm not right for that one. You go to that one.
Right.
And it just brings, I'm not thinking, oh, they're going to give me one back, but it really does work that way,
Mhm.
and supporting one another. So I'm so glad you're
Yep.
doing. All right, before we go, a couple things. One, is there anything we didn't get in, Debbie, that you want to say to women and men that support us around the world?
Wow, I do think that we covered everything. I really do believe that everyone has to believe in themselves. I think that you have to believe in yourself before others can believe in you, and that is where that my power statement comes from. The confidence is in action, not
Yeah.
perfection.
Okay, where can they find you when they want to hire you?
Oh, you can find me at versatour.com. That's VIRSITOUR.com. Find me
Okay.
on LinkedIn. Just Debbie Garcia CMP or Versatour. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. You can email me at hello@versatour.com. But yeah, you can find me pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. Debbie, I really appreciate you coming on the show. I really do. I'm so glad we connected. This has been not just helpful for my listeners and viewers, but it's been really helpful for me. It really is. There's so many
Yeah,
things that I'm always reading and growing, but I'm like, okay, all right, I can do that. And again, I'm not going to do it all tomorrow, but I'm going to say
right.
something that would help my business the most or help me personally most. So I really appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And I'm so glad that you have energy
Yeah.
or power or whatever it is that went out, that you figured it out. All right, hey, I got something to say, people. You know you're going to want to share it. And Debbie and I would really appreciate it. Like it, rate it, subscribe. I love you guys. I do feel like you are the best peeps in the world. Maybe I'm biased. But until next time, you know what I'm going to say. Toodles. Thanks, Debbie.
All right. Thank you.